Ausubel's cognitive theory of learning. So according to him, meaning, what is meaning? All right. So an object or a concept has meaning when it elicits an image in the content of consciousness. The content of consciousness related to the object. Okay, so there must be something in the learner's cognitive structure to which it can be related. Okay, now the word car, C-A-R, car, has meaning for an individual when it can be related to a mental representation of what cars are. Okay, if you describe car to an ape man who lives in a cage, okay, so you're not going to what elicit this image, right? So cognitive structure consists of more or less organized and stable concepts or ideas in a learner's consciousness, right? So that's cognitive structure. The nature of the organization is assumed to be hierarchical, okay, with the most inclusive, that is to say, most general concept at the apex, at the top, with increasingly specific concept toward the base. It's just like what Bruner's theory, is that right? Just like Bruner's theory. So here we have what general, the general, or the general theory. So this is what general, and then here you have what specific information related to the general concept and some more specific information related to the general concept. And for this specific information, even more, sometimes more specific information. Okay, this is general, this is specific, this is even more specific. All right. All right. So it is hierarchical. Okay, it's hierarchical. All right. So Ausubel suggests that material is what ordinarily organized from the most inclusive to the most specific. Therefore, instruction should proceed from the most general, okay, and inclusive toward details of specific instances. So for what? For Ausubel, it is just what? Opposite of Bruner. For Bruner is what? Inductive learning. Right? Bruner's inductive learning, and Ausubel deductive. So inductive is what? From here to here, according to the diagram. Okay. Deductive is from general to specific. Okay. Okay. But then what? Everything is the same, hierarchical, everything is the same, but it's just the direction. Okay, it's just the direction, right? So Bruner here is from specific to the general or to the all-inclusive. For Ausubel is one, general first, then one specific. It's just the opposite. Right? So they have different theories. Right? So according to Ausubel, the material is organized one from here to here. Okay, and therefore instruction should proceed one from the most general to what the most general, most inclusive, okay, toward what details of what specific instances. Okay, this. All right. So notice what say this is what deductive learning. This inductive learning. All right. So general to examples that deductive. Okay. From example to general, that's inductive. You induce the general rules. All right. Subsumption. A subsumer is a concept or an idea, just another term, another construct. Okay? To subsum is to incorporate one meaningful material into existing cognitive structures. Okay? Existing cognitive structure. Okay? So there are two kinds of subsumption. Okay, derivative subsumption or correlative, not this is wrong. A derivative subsumption and correlative subsumption. So derivative subsumption occurs when the new material is so similar to existing structure that it could have been derived directly from it. Correlative subsumption occurs when the new material requires an extension of structure because some of it is entirely new. So let me read you this, okay? So to show you the difference between the two. Now, all right, let's take a look, okay? If you drive down an unfamiliar road that has many new corners, it is likely that each of these will be so similar to other corners you have known that you can subsum them easily and quickly. They are meaningful for you. Even if you come across a very different corner, for example, a pigtail turn, one of those was simultaneously curving and elevating artificial ramps that is sometimes found on mountain road. Okay? It may also be meaningful for you, but in a quite different way. Okay? The first kind of corner, the kind you come across involves derivative assumption, since it can be clearly understood in terms of previous knowledge. The second, the pigtail one, the second requires correlative subsumption, since it is partly new. So one important difference between the two processes is that the learning involved will be remembered for different length of time. All right? So that's the difference between derivative subsumption and correlative subsumption. My apology, this one. Ausubel's theory of instruction. Take a look here. Now, people acquire knowledge primarily through reception rather than through discovery. Okay? Concept, principles, and ideas are presented and understood, not discovered. That's the basic thinking of what Ausubel's theory of instruction. Right? So expository teaching and its outcome is called receptive learning. Okay? Students receive. So characteristic of expository teaching is that first, it is deductive. That is to say, deductive from general to specific, okay, or from general to example. It is deductive. Rule to example, okay, from top down. Okay, so it is deductive. Second, it makes great use of examples. Right? Discuss this and then talk about a lot of examples. Make sure that they understand this. All right. So making great use of examples. It is sequential. That is to say, materials are presented in a carefully organized sequence and somewhat finished form. Is that right? You discuss this and you go through all this. So it is finished, quite unlike discovery learning or quite unlike inductive learning. Okay, the students have to discover the general concept. Okay, so it is totally different. Use of advanced organizer. Okay, so use of advanced organizer. What is it? Well, it is remember PQ4R? The P is considered to be advanced organizer. All right, what is it? So introductory statement that fits new material into a student's present schemata or student present cognitive structure. So advanced organizer is the introductory statement, okay, that fits new material into a student present cognitive structure. All right, so that's good. So that's good. So it serves three purposes. Now, direct attention. So you direct attention, highlight relationships that the new materials to something they have already learned, and remind students of relevant information. Right now, when students have no relevant information to which they can relate the new learning, that's not good. So it is good to remind them of relevant information. All right, there are two types of organizer. Okay, expository organizer, comparative organizer. So expository organizer, that you present a description or exposition of relevant concept on which upcoming information is based. Okay? Comparative organizer is to activate already existing knowledge or cognitive structure. Right? So that's Ausubel's expository teaching. Let me show you this. Right? You don't want this. I just take it out. right? So the phases of expository teaching. Take a look here. Advanced organizer, they present content in terms of similarities and differences using specific examples, use lots of examples, and then relate content back to organizer. That's one. That's the expository one teaching. So you see here, it is just the what? Just the opposite of Bruner's discovery learning. And of course, compared the two, discovery learning is far more difficult. Is that right? Far more difficult. And the students have to do a lot of work. But in one, Ausubel's one, instructor expository teaching. The teacher does everything, right? The students are just sitting there and paying attention. So that's the difference, one major difference between the two approaches, right? Good. And thank you.